From dusk till dawn, loggers across West Africa continue to generate billions of dollars through the illegal trade in precious hardwoods. Most valuable is rosewood, trafficked more than any other wildlife commodity globally. And the loggers are not the ones making most of the money. This trade is controlled by organized criminal syndicates with influence and power. Understanding the dangers of this, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species has recently announced that the trade in rosewood is suspended from all 16 West African countries.
So it's correct that some countries have been subject to a recommendation to suspend trade, whereas others have made the steps themselves by introducing what we call voluntary zero export quotas. And so Benin, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, they already had, I think most of these countries already had national bans in the legislation and just asked us to communicate this. This means that the importing country would be in a difficult position if it accepted an import from such a country, because there was a ban in place or a zero export quota that said that these shouldn't be exported.
By announcing this suspension, CITES is informing importing countries that all rosewood from West Africa is banned from trade. Rosewood's main destination is China, where it's carved into luxury furniture, popular for its strength and durability. As of April 2022, more than $2 billion worth of rosewood had been illegally traded between African countries and China, over a 5-year period alone. A few weeks ago, Arise reported on the depletion of Nigeria's rosewood, and I spoke with Raphael Edu, the EIA's Africa Program Manager and a former Environment Minister of Benin. Following the CITES announcement, we caught up again on what this means for West Africa.
All the West African countries, they made decision to ban the export of rosewood. Now, with this decision, I think this is the end of the illegal trade in rosewood from West Africa, because China will enforce the decision made by the CITES. And all the Chinese companies must comply with that.
Rapid rates of deforestation and the exploitation of rosewood led CITES to suspend Nigeria from the trade in this highly demanded timber in 2018. According to the convention, the suspension has reduced the intensity of the illegal trade, so the hope is that this will happen across other West African countries too. But some experts argue that the illegal rosewood trade in Nigeria continues to boom. Furthermore, with eyes on rosewood, some loggers are beginning to shift their attention to other tree species like African mahogany. There are several African mahogany species found in Nigeria, and unfortunately, none currently receive any level of protection from CITES. One of the species, Kaya senegalensis, is protected under Nigeria's Endangered Species Act. But if all species aren't protected, and laws aren't both strengthened and enforced, there are fears that African mahogany may become the next rosewood.
It is certainly that the African mahogany will become, in the coming years, a threat within the Taraba forest as one of the most important tree species which dealers or buyers wanted. But we need to work hard to list these species under the CITES. This will be something very important.
it is only the parties that can ask for protection under CITES. There's a process whereby parties can either put the species on Appendix 3, and that can be done unilaterally. So if there were a pressure on African mahogany, they could put the entire genus, not only that particular species, but the entire genus on Appendix 3, which would mean that trade from Nigeria and this species would be controlled under CITES. I cannot say at this point whether we have African mahogany in the pipeline of a species as a species that will be discussed at the next meeting of the Conference of the Parties, but I can tell you that on the 24th of June, we will publicize which species will be considered.
According to CITES, the rosewood trade suspension will stay in place until the affected countries can prove that the trade in the species will be in line with the Convention's policies. While this decision is a rather historic move, there is more that CITES and West African governments will have to consider to ensure that the new regulation is adhered to and all subsequent effects of this are taken into account. Laila Johnson-Salami, Arise News.